Hey Harvard, this is Cameron Allen. I'm hollering at you guys from Austin, Texas. Basically just to say that I miss you. It's been a long time since we were all together, and since we had the opportunity to randomly run into one another and have a really engaging and pretty transformative conversation. And I'd be lying if I said I didn't really miss that. One of the things that in sort of lamenting about that as being off the table, one of the things that has found me some semblance of consolation is thinking about each and every one of you out there in the world doing your thing. I think, especially when I think about some of you who seem to have found that space or that work or that area of education that really allows you to be fully yourself. That's so unbelievably exciting. Even if the work itself is not very exciting for me. I'm thrilled by the prospect of each and every one of you finding that space and really just sort of exploring it and kind of growing in it. I've found that space. I'm one of the lucky ones. I've found that space, and for me it's called the SEED Adult and Family Learning Community. Many of you have probably heard about this, whether it was in A320 talking about the development of this program, or for those of you who are on Facebook or other kind of social media things, you might have seen some of our videos. We've grown really quickly. It's been a really amazing opportunity for me to get the heck out of the way and allow adult learners to really take control and become leaders or sort of manifest their natural leadership in a way that actually matters. We've had a lot of success. We've seen a lot of really great development, a lot of really great growth, and we've been recognized by newspapers, and the superintendent of public schools here in Austin came by and spent a couple hours with us, and the learners were really unbelievable in the way that they managed his meeting, by which I mean they sort of stood up and said, these are our demands for this program, and it's been really quite impactful. Unfortunately, we're not in a position to continue in the way that we have been, and we're trying really hard to raise money so that I can be full-time at the school and not have to continue the part-time job that I found doing some catering. So I've got a video especially for you. This is somewhat dry stuff. If you're used to the Facebook stuff, that's kind of fun. This is somewhat dry and pretty abstract and relatively heavy ideologically, but this is sort of my explanation of the program and its underlying ideas directly to Harvard colleagues, to the people who have demonstrated a willingness and an ability to engage deeply with critical ideas and really make some sense of them. So I know that adult education is not at the top of everyone's list, but I hope that in watching this video you'll recognize that what we're doing is really exciting nonetheless, and that my being lucky enough to have found the space that allows me to be fully myself and to be incredibly deeply challenged and transformed by the work every day. I hope that you can help contribute. We're doing a fundraiser just for about 3 or 4 more days, and I really would love to see as many of your names on that campaign as possible. I know that not everybody's found a stellar job just yet, and I know the feeling of being in a tight spot financially, but literally $1 would make a world of difference. I would love to have your names as the next sort of crop of the best and the brightest in education representing Harvard Graduate School of Education. If you guys are not in the position where you're recognizing the importance of the work that we're doing in adult education, then our job is much more difficult than we thought. Deep down, I believe, especially with those of you whom I've spent a great deal of time talking about my work and your work, I think that you recognize that there are a lot of underlying ideas that connect your work with my work, and I hope that alone is enough for you to jump on and support us. I certainly I want to make a commitment to support you when you find that space, and I know that some of you have, and for those of you who have, please reach out and let me know how I can help support. For those of you who haven't quite found that space yet, you will, and when you do, it's unbelievable. But it can't be done alone. And so when you find that space, reach out and share with us the work that you're doing. Allow us to engage with you as you develop as a person and as a practitioner, and allow us to help. But for now, again, I would absolutely love it if Harvard could contribute to our program, the Seed Adult and Family Learning Community. We need you as much as we feel like you need us. Hi, my name is Cameron Allen, and I'm the founder of the Seed Adult and Family Learning Community in Austin, Texas. Our program intends to answer the following question: what would an adult education program look like if it were created with a community rather than for a community? The Seed Adult and Family Learning Community is in the process of being created by a group of learners, teachers, and organizers. Eventually, we will offer 3 distinct but connected learning experiences. The foundation of the Seed is language learning, which includes first language literacy when necessary and available, and English as a second or other language thereafter. Secondly, a program called Students as Teachers will provide learners with the opportunity to develop and teach lessons, time for which they will be financially reimbursed. Finally, we aim to strengthen the relationship between schools and families in a course exploring the rights and responsibilities of family member advocates. Throughout this work, we invite participants to think critically about their agency as learners, teachers, family members, meaning makers, and agents of change. A seed represents something that is valuable only when cared for diligently and continually over time. If properly cared for, a single seed can produce dozens of fruits and thousands of seeds. We parallel this with the acquisition of language or any other knowledge, in that it is only valuable insofar as the person who holds it also works hard to make it so. Many programs and the curricula they employ base their work on a series of assumptions about the learners they're serving. In accordance with these assumptions, these programs provide the seeds they think the learners need: shopping vocabulary, bus riding and schedule vocabulary, dialogues about not being able to pay rent. Learners are absolutely flooded with an assault of seeds, again valueless, if not utilized and personally relevant. What many of these programs ignore is the importance of the conditions when growing seeds. They rarely make space for critical discussions of race, gender, systemic inequality, identity. Because these are often forces at play in the lives of adult learners, the seeds that most programs offer have little to no value. They are akin to pineapple seeds in the Arctic climate. They will not grow because the conditions are not right. Therefore, at the Seed Adult and Family Learning Community, we take seriously the importance of analyzing our conditions. Our job as a program is not to determine the conditions of our community of learners, but to invite learners into experiences that allow them to recognize and shape those conditions. In some instances, this analysis may highlight a difference between the way the world is and the way the world ought to be. Herein lie the roots of an increased awareness of civic responsibility and transformational agency. The Seed is incredibly well positioned in Austin given our past experience. We're fueled by momentum from a program whose funding expired in August, and have relationships with dozens of learners who are actively looking for the next place to study. Over my 4 years with that program, I built strong partnerships with organizations and community leaders, work that has continued since. In addition, we've got all the furniture we can handle, along with thousands of books to fill a robust and diverse library. We've always worked to build curriculum from the ground up that matched the learners in the classes, and have grown accustomed to this difficult but necessary work. That being said, we're not where we need to be. Our main necessity right now is a physical space, essentially 4 walls and a roof, to house our vibrant learning community. We're looking for a residential home, both for practical and ideological reasons. Practically, a home gives us the opportunity for enrichment classes in spaces such as the kitchen, front and backyards, the garage, and even the structure of the home itself. Ideologically, we believe that the dichotomy between school and home is a false one, and we hope that explicitly teaching and learning in a space that feels like a family home will be a challenge to that dichotomy. I'm committed to paying community members for their planning and teaching time. When done right, after all, teaching is the most difficult job in the world and should be treated thusly. I lived in Ecuador for a short time before working in adult education. Ironically, I left South America because I didn't want to teach English. Yet the only work I could find when I returned was a part-time ESL job with adults. It didn't take long before I realized the immense potential power that exists in the space, and the ways in which ignoring that power can be incredibly problematic. I reached out to colleagues to discuss my frustrations, and I was dismayed that I seemed to be alone in my outrage at condescending and reductive curricula. It was at that point that I made a commitment to build a community in which to create a program based on empowerment. The outrage that I felt at what I deemed unjust, and the commitment that followed, I share with many of you. Be it linked to food justice, immigrant rights, social justice, access to the arts, K-12 education, racial, gender, sexual equality, animal rights, environmental stewardship, or any other cause, the roots are likely the same. Seeing that the world that is different from the world that ought to be. Our work at the Seed will ensure that adult education practitioners and programs can no longer ignore the identities of the learners, the complexity of the power in the classroom, and the ways in which the adult learning space can either challenge or perpetuate an unjust status quo. Your contribution today and in the future will fund what can only be fairly called a revolution in adult learning in Texas. Please commit your support by donating today. I'm so appreciative of your time and your assistance in this crucial campaign. I hope you take some time to visit our website at theseedaustin.org, where you can see updates about the work, which has been ongoing in one form or another for years now. Please reach out should you have any questions about our approach, our community, or other ways to be involved. As a community program, we need you just as much as we believe you need us. Thank you.